Let's see, bit of Spotify. Bit of Spotify, bit of Spotify. She got a pay her bills. She got an attitude on God, that's why she taking pills. She got her OnlyFans. Don't judge when you a fan. Designer on demand. Life's hard without a plan. Hills, she in LA. If you got drugs, pass it away. She want the bands up in the safe. She wanna know where she can stay. Everything she wanted. Lifestyle on point. And try to fall in love when she's so private and so boring. She on the gram without a plan. Now she got her OnlyFans. She want the bands, now you fan. Out here flexing on the gram. She only drives a foreign. Call you when she is bored. And she never had a plan. She on the gram without a plan. Now she got her OnlyFans. She want the bands, now you fan. Out here flexing on the gram. She only drives a foreign. Call you when she is bored. And she never had a plan. She got her OnlyFans. She only call me late night when I'm drifting away. I You only tries to foreign. Flexing on the gram. Again. "10 minutes till Tameless." Hey, I think I need it. Again.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Welcome on in. Team list 10 minutes away. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Hope you had a good week last week in Supercoach as well. We will do it again, again, again. Na, na, na. 8 minutes until team lists. All right, let's get into this, eh, lads? Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. If you are listening audio only, thank you as well. This is a live stream, so there might be points in this video where I am speaking to people that come in. I'll make sure to read those questions or just anyone popping in. Because sometimes I know some of you listen to the YouTube video while you're driving or whatever it may be, so you're not actually watching it but only listening. And yeah, a wild and wet week, something I completely missed this week, which is very, very unfortunate. I had a couple of mishaps that I think would have pushed me to green arrows if I just did them. 1135 for me. Only went down 311 ranks, but I most probably would have gone up if I had played a couple of certain players. I had a bit of a mishap happen. Nothing crazy, but I think not knowing about the weather everywhere in Sydney really cooked me, because I thought they were all going to be, or majority of them were going to be okay. And I just honestly didn't look at the weather. The biggest mistake I made was not playing Jayden Campbell. He was actually on my bench. I didn't even reserve him because I honestly thought Penrith were just going to come out. And it looked like maybe Jayden Campbell was going to get a 60 or something like that. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. 112 points. My trades last week were, I brought in Briton Nikora. And I don't know how I feel about it. I'm excited to see what he does, but I really thought he was going to go 70, 80 plus against the Cowboys. I knew my Cowboys, we were going to get dominated. And I just don't know why or how Nikora really didn't get a lot of scoring opportunity. But it happens. This is Supercoach. We've got to live, learn, and just let it be. He could be absolutely amazing in the next few games because Sharks have a really, really good run. So it is what it is for that week. I also decided this might be one of the craziest things I've done, but after the Payne Haas injury niggle, plus then getting information about his illness, I actually decided to trade him out because I'm already so stacked in the FRF 2RF section. So I really wasn't upset about it. I did bring him in for Nick Rudd. Now, the main reason I did this was to have 190,000 in the bank. So then I could go a CTW that either wasn't performing or just not a premium to go to Lomax. Then what happened? Of course, Herbie Farnworth, a VC, popular VC pick for everyone, goes down. And now that is your complete and easiest switch trade that you could do. Lomax comes in, and now I kind of lost Haas for no reason, it feels like, but I'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I still wanted to have money in the bank because I still have 3 trades left. There's things I want to do. There could be another premium or someone that comes up that we have to get that costs a bit of money. So hopefully that works out. But in the end, yeah, just a very, very under par scores. I think the worst thing I've done this season, honestly, which is mind-blowing to me, is trade in Brian To'o when he's just not been performing in terms of he just hasn't been getting tries. And it's just the ball is never going right. And every time they go right, this Targo or whatever his name is, he's just doing like anything he can. It feels like I'm watching Bradman Best not passing to Marzu. It's just like that all over again. And it's really, really doing my head in. So I'm going to have to stick with that, unfortunately. I do now have 290,000 in the bank. So there are still some things I can do, but I'm going to hold tight because we still have quite some time left. It's round 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So we still have 5 rounds left where at the moment anything is happening. Herbie Farnworth is making a break and then just getting this random hamstring. Still very, very happy I've held on to AFB. Last week he got an 84, which was huge for me. I think the really annoying things last week for me were just playing Galvin over Campbell when I really didn't look at the weather. I actually tried to switch to Campbell and make him a reserve, but I missed out by 1 minute and my phone died just before I could click the reserve button on him. That really, really hurt. That was annoying, but that's my fault for not being prepared and kind of not evaluating the weather situation because I actually didn't know how bad the weather was in Sydney because obviously I don't live there. Hey, man, sorry I'm a little late. I had a terrible week. Only 1158. I think a lot of us did. I did as well, 1135. I think I would have gone 1,200 and something if I just played Campbell, but it is what it is. I then played Marky Mark, which I still have and is still not going well, but I'm holding tight for Marky Mark. And the reason being is this is the round I really wanted him for. Dolphins, I'm going to hold Tedesco for this Dolphins round. Roosters won last week. They look good. And I think this is the round you do not want to trade Tedesco out for. I think I'm feeling an 80-plus Tedesco round this week. Look, I could be completely wrong. I'm also going to show you guys a bit of a captaincy play I'm going to do this week. It could be the most absurd thing you've ever seen. It could be one of the best things. I think there's going to be a lot of people captaining Cleary this week. I personally don't think that's the right play. I think Campbell, for me, is a really, really good play where you go VC Cleary into Captain Campbell. I really, really like this. Campbell into South. Titans have now hit their best form for the season, where Campbell just looks like an incredible player with actually support around him. I wouldn't be surprised if Titans go on this crazy 50, 60, 70% win streak now where it's just like, who is this Titans team? Where have they been all season? So that's what we're going to look out for. But let's check quickly. Team lists are in. round 23, and I see a picture of Latrell Mitchell, Payne Haas, Bradman Best, and Tommy Turbo. Maybe Tommy Turbo has been brought back to the fullback role. That could be absolutely massive in itself. Let's get into it. Round 23 team list. Let's start off with Storm versus the Brisbane Broncos. By the way, hello Swish, hope you're doing well. 7:50 p.m. and Maroons forward Trent Liero is back on deck after being rested last week. So Atavalu Lasardi goes back to the bench. Bronson Gullick makes way. And then back rower Alec McDonald is again listed among the reserves. So nothing much there. A week after he was in hospital being treated for a cut on his leg that became infected. Wait, what? I thought he had illness. Payne Haas is back to tackle the Storm pack. Fellow big man Xavier Wilson is sidelined with a broken arm suffered against the Rabbitohs. And Corey Pakes is now listed among the reserves. So nothing too crazy here. Pappenhausen, good and ready. How are we looking? Are they still playing? So Katoa's still there. Liero in the 13. Wishart and Munster are your half pairings with Mem and Adam Reynolds. This will be an interesting game. If Broncos win this game, I'll be super, super impressed. That's something we would want to hopefully see. I guess Melbourne have been a bit up and down. They haven't been the same Melbourne as the start of the season. But honestly, Supercoach-wise, nothing crazy here. If you're a Shibasaki owner, this could be a bit of a tough game for you, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't want to eat my words. Harry Grant, hopefully going to have a really nice game here. But this could be maybe game of the week. We don't know. We'll have to see how Broncos come up and play. Knights v Panthers, Friday, 6 p.m. at McDonald's Jones Stadium. No, I would not go Cobbo as a pod. No, definitely not. I think there's better pods than Cobbo. Knights versus Panthers, 6 p.m. Dane Gagai still at fullback. I see a lot of people trading in for him. I still wouldn't go Dane Gagai at the moment. I think if you hadn't gone Dane Gagai in the last 2 or 3 rounds, you've completely missed the boat. And you just have to let that one be. If you look at the Knights' upcoming draw, they have Penrith, North Queensland, which is nicer than Broncos and then Sharks. The only thing you could possibly wish for is that there's restings in these games, but I don't think that's going to happen. Coming up against Penrith, it should be quite a tough game for Dane Gagai. North Queensland away, we know that North Queensland are a different beast away on their home turf. And then Broncos, who are obviously just playing to make the finals, be in the best position, and same as the Sharks then away. So that's pretty rough for Gagai. I personally wouldn't go there. If you do, very ballsy play, and I hope it works out for you. A boost for the Knights with centre Bradman Best named to return from a knee injury. That's huge, which he suffered in round 20. Jake Arthur comes in at halfback for his first NRL appearance since round 12, with Tyson Gamble dropping to 18th man. Jackson Hastings and Jack Hetherington have been replaced on the bench by Thomas Cant and Elijah Salesa Leomoana. The Premiers have lost skipper Isaiah Yeo. Now, if you did trade in Isaiah Yeo last week, that is absolutely bad luck. When I saw the injury happen in the game, I was like, holy crap, is he possibly out until like final starts? They say 1 to 3 weeks. I think they're going to give him as much rest as possible, but that is a huge out. Isaiah Papali shifts to lock and Liam Martin starts now in the second row. Scott Sorensen is back from a leg injury on the bench. So they have a bit of coverage there. And Matt Eisenhuth, Brad Schneider, and Liam Henry on the bench. That's nice to see. But really, if you've gone Isaiah Yeo and you don't have the trades, I think you just have to park him on your bench and wait for him to come back. You can't really force out the trade. That's just super unlucky. I don't know what the numbers were, but he was one of the most traded in players last week. Very, very rough. I mean, that's just super, super unlucky because he was literally 2 to 3 meters away from scoring, fell on his shoulder, nearly dislocated it, or did dislocate it. I'm pretty sure he didn't. And I guess that's how the cookie crumbles, eh? Raiders versus Eagles, Friday, 8 p.m., GIO Stadium. Tommy Turbo back at fullback. it seems like Seabold has had enough. Oh, no, this would be because of Lee Hopewadi, no? The Green Machine rolls out for the same 17 despite a loss to the Dragons. Look, that was in the wet. There's two things I've noticed that I feel like Raiders and Bulldogs are a bit average in wet games, especially Bulldogs. They don't do as well in these really heavy wet games. But yeah, the Dragons came out to win, and they did win. Huge game from them. Seagulls, the injury to Lehigh Hopewadi sees Tommy Turbo return to fullback after 5 games in centres. Tommy Talau moves to the bench to centre, and Lehigh Hopewadi's out. Back rower Ben Trebojevic is replaced by Michael Cam. Is Garrick still on the wing? That'll be good. I think Turbo will facilitate him well there. This will be a very interesting game. I don't see Canberra Raiders losing 2 in a row, but hey, we don't know what Eagles team is going to turn up. But Tommy Turbo, if you have him, you're happy to see this. You want him at fullback, and that's very, very good to see. I think for the Raiders, Hudson Young has had a pretty poor last game. Good game before that for about an 80. A lot of people trading in for Matt Timoko. I think that is a very, very average trade. To be honest with you, reason being is he hasn't really been a huge consistent scorer in my opinion. Plus they also have a bye coming in round 24 into Penrith away, then West Tigers. Obviously Penrith away is going to be tough. West Tigers is going to be nice, but I wouldn't be relying on him. I find it as a very interesting trade that you're doing. Maybe you're trying to chase late points, which is obviously what we're trying to do, but you're trying to chase someone that just randomly got really, really good points out of nowhere, went over the line easily, and I wouldn't read into that as much as possible. But hey, again, it is only my opinion. Zach Hosking still in the 12, and no sign of Matty Nicholson, which is good news for Hosking owners. I think KO Weeks, if you've still got him, I don't know exactly what he got last week. Let's just check, because we obviously saw him go absolutely ballistic. Round 22 score for 44. So that's in the wet. Look, hopefully he has a better matchup points-wise here. But yeah, I think we've been getting the KO Weeks sort of old after that crazy anomaly of boost in points he got, where he had absolute flyers of games. But I still think you hold him if you own him. He's completely fine, and we know what he's capable of. Looking at the ins and outs, nothing crazy here besides obviously Manly losing Hopewadi and Turbo. They're not performing very well, Manly. If you're a Manly fan, it's very hit and miss, isn't it? Very hit and miss. Dragons versus Sharks, 3 p.m. Dragons actually playing not too bad footy. A bit of errors last week with Canberra, though, but let's see what happens here. Shane Flanagan goes with the same 17 that stunned the Raiders last week as the Red V chase back-to-back wings. Tyrell Sloan will be out to continue his hot streak that he's seen him score 6 tries in his last 5 games. If we look quickly at where is it? St. George draw. They have Sharks into New Zealand away, South Sydney Rabbitohs away, and Manly. Hello, Leo. How you doing? Thoughts on RTS? Yeah, we'll get into him soon. I did actually say 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think he'd be a really amazing pick, and people should go there. And he's a pod play. It was between him, Gagai, and Brian To'o. So I think, he's quite a good pick. So yeah, not a great draw, but not a bad draw for them. So I wouldn't read in it too much of going anywhere near a Dragons player, to be honest with you. For Sharks, just the one change to the side that down the Cowboys, with Tony Rudolph joining in the bench in return from his concussion in place of Jesse, not even going to say that last name. Billy Burns is again listed at 18th man. Hopefully Britton Nickera will have a better points game. Adam Fanua-Blake, I'm hoping for another 60, 70 plus. That'll be absolutely brilliant. We'll need to pay attention to the weather this time because that hurt me a bit last week. Hines still doing Hines things, looking to get 70 plus. And Dragons, we know that they can lick some points, but they can also turn up and play some really good footy. So this is going to be quite an interesting game. I thought there was a chance Cook might have been injured. That didn't happen, because if that happened, you could have easily gone Jacob Little if you needed a hooker. But yeah, nothing really crazy here. Oh, a big pod, I think. We'll get into pods a bit later, but there is a big pod here. I think Mulatalo deserves a shout now. Could come home very strong points-wise, so you need to look out for that. But let's go to the next one. Dolphins v. Roosters. I think this is going to be an absolute points fest. I think this will be a plus 46, 48 point game in total. I think Tedesco, Hammer in for quite big games. Billy Smith, I still have him. He's gotten me 68 points last week, which is absolutely amazing. Marky Mark, I've still got him, even though he's been underperforming, hoping for an absolutely massive game from them this week. Plus the Herbie Farnworth injury also helps us. Obviously unfortunate, but sees youngster Tavito Na'afua slide in. This is absolutely massive for Marky Mark holders, because I think he could absolutely dominate this right side. I kind of just want to see him in center. I kind of prefer him in center, and I'm kind of getting sick of seeing him on wing. Has anything changed there with him going into... No, he's still on the wing. But we'll have to wait and see. Mark Nichols starts at prop in place of Felice Kafusi, who's suspended, while Finafuiaki returns from a thumb injury. Sure. Trent Robertson sticks with the same 17 that took care of Manly. I think this is going to be also a great game for Angus Crichton. If you're an owner, you can still go Angus Crichton, I believe, and I think that'll be a great play. We can look into him a bit later. Spencer Leniu goes to the bench. I think the big things here are I think you're holding Tedesco for this, in my opinion. Daniel Tupou has also been a great pod that people have gone to. Marky Mark, this is the game where we really want to see him score points, because if he doesn't here, I'm not sure I'll play him for the rest of the season. I'm not sure if I just even want to trust him anymore. Connor Watson hopefully has a nice big game here. The biggest things from the Dolphins we want to see is obviously how do they go without Farnworth. That Asako kicking. Yeah, why would he not be kicking? I assume he'd be kicking. Yep. I think Asako will be kicking. If you have Asako, you definitely play him this game. If you don't, I don't think you'd bring him in. But yeah, he should definitely be kicking. Is there any reason why he wouldn't be kicking Leo? But yeah, no Felice Kafusi, so they lose a bit of oomph there. I think Roosters will win this game. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Also, big game here. If you wanted a sneaky pod captain play, Karaz here could be absolutely massive. Still at number one. Bulldogs lost heavily, like just outplayed by West Tigers last week. Crazy game. No panic at the Bulldogs with coach Cameron Ciraldo sticking with the same 17 that suffered a shock loss to West Tigers, and I think that's the right play. Lockie Galvin has been named to play despite battling a hand and ankle niggles that may require pain-killing needles. Well, that's a bit rough. Toby Sexton is part of the extended squad and could get a recall should Galvin fail to come up. Chanel Harris-Tavita is back from a calf injury in the number 6, and James Fisher-Harris is part of the extended squad, as he also has a return from a calf injury. TMN slides back to the interchange, and after filling in at 5'8" last week, Freddie Lussick drops to 18th man. Bench for Jacob Laban's season appears to be overdue to a leg injury. The thing is, when you talk to me about RTS, this would be the last week I'd want to bring RTS in against the Bulldogs, who just got absolutely kind of embarrassed against West Tigers in the wet with all the saga. If it was me personally, I would not bring RTS in for this game. I would be very, very scared of that. But again, maybe you get him in this week, you don't play him, or you just go for it, and then he's going to be good for the following weeks, because they do have quite a nice draw. The New Zealand Warriors, after this, for memory, they have St. George, Gold Coast, Para. So maybe 2 games there because Para are playing better footy. But yeah, I personally wouldn't go there, but good luck if you do, because he's a great player. We know the tackle busts he can do. We know what he can achieve as soon as he gets a bit of an opening. So yeah, good luck with that. Titans versus Rabbits. I saw a picture of Latrell Mitchell. Why do I not see him here? He's in the reserves. Okay. Khan Pereira comes in on the wing in place of Phil Sami, who has entered the concussion protocols. That's very annoying because Phil Sami was doing absolutely great. Wait, who got injured? Asako Swish? Is that what you're talking about? Who has entered the concussion protocols after coming from the field for 2 separate HIAs in the loss to Penrith? Oh, yes, that looked actually super bad. Chris Randall returns in the back row. So Jacob Alec Wienke goes to the bench and Tom Weaver makes way. Superstar fullback Latrell Mitchell is listed among the reserves as he closes in a return from a quad injury. Why would you even risk it? That is sidelined him for 4 matches. Brandon Smith has been named to return from a knee injury on the bench, while halfback Jamie Humphreys and hooker Peter Mamouzelos have come through the concussion protocols and will line up on Sunday. Ryan Gray, Lewis Dodd, and Tyrone Munro have all dropped out of the side beaten by Brisbane. Thoughts on Dane Gagai replacement for Farnworth given their draw and past scores? Yeah, we did speak this a tiny bit about this earlier. I like that they verse North Queensland. I don't like that they verse North Queensland at home. I'm going to go with my gut and say that I think if you haven't gone Dane Gagai, the time to go on Dane Gagai was when he first got named at fullback, and it might be a bit too late now. The fact that they verse Sharks away and Broncos, who are vying for really good spots, I think if I was in your shoes and you said, what CTW am I going for? I'm going Mulatalo with the Sharks draw. If we look at the Sharks draw compared, they've just versed North Queensland. They versed St. George away into Gold Coast, into a bye, into Newcastle. Now, that's not to say it's like 20 times better than Gagai's. The difference is, one, also, there's no bye for Newcastle. That's obviously a big plus, so that's 1 extra game. You could definitely do it. I like Mulatalo at the moment. We can maybe do a bit of a look into CTWs just after I finish the team list, because I think it's a great question, Pat. And also, thanks for being here and asking a question, so I appreciate that. But yeah, we'll get into that shortly, maybe. Eels v Cowboys, 4:05 p.m. Sunday, great game. I think I want to discuss something because I think there's a possibility here where we could look at a sneaky captaincy on Zach Lomax this game, the way the Cowboys are playing. Yeah, he is goal kicking. It's just how many points do they score against Penrith? Do you think they score more than 12 points against Penrith? If you think they do, then maybe that's worth, but I don't know. I know people love it when a player's goal kicking. We also have to remember that they need to score tries to goal kick. Then they also need to make those kicks. However, yeah, it's an interesting topic. Eels, I love the thought of going VC, Jaden Campbell, into Lomax captain. I'd have to look at what I can do with a bye player or an injured player so that I could use them as a loop. That's something we can look at after this as well. But this is going to be a great game. I think Eels will win this, but who bloody knows? Tuolagi has been added to the bench returning from suspension. Jordan Samrani comes into the centres in place of Sean Russell, while Dylan Walker has been named to start at lock. That's a big in for Eels. He's a great player for them. Cowboys get prop Jason Tamalolo, halfback Jake Clifford, quad centre Viliami Velia, and bench forward Thomas Mikalele back in a boost of their chances. Zach Labart moves from centre to wing to replace Robert Derby. In his first game since round 9, Tamalolo takes over from Griffin Neem in the front row. Jeremiah Nano goes back to the forwards after playing centre last week. Jackson Purdue moves from 5'8" to centre. Oh my God. Blockbusting winger Semi Valame is listed among the reserves. Okay, first of all, when are Cowboys going to get rid of Todd Payten? As a Cowboys fan, I'm completely sick of it. I've never seen more chop and change besides the Newcastle team, and I'm absolutely over it. I don't think I think they rushed Purdue into the halves, and I think it always should have been Clifford and Dearden. Love you pods. Love my pods, you mean? Like love your pods? Thank you. This is going to be a really, really interesting game. I don't know how Cowboys are going to stop Lomax on the high ball to the side if they get given a lot of attacking opportunities. So that's going to be something to see, and we'll obviously wait and see. Guymer going huge, had him since round one. True. He's been absolutely massive. From a super coach point of view, I think obviously if you have Drinkwater, you're playing him. I don't think he's a vice captaincy or captaincy pick. But again, people that were talking about getting in Dearden last week, that flopped on you last week. Hopefully this is a bit better play. I kind of shed away from that unless you put him in 5/8, which I still was a bit hesitant about, but sure, I said do it if you want to. Cowboys are just in a rut. Their season's over. I don't expect much from them. Eels are actually quite a strong team when they play very, very good. And I don't see Eels losing this game the way that Cowboys have been playing. That's your team list, lads. I want to see if I can quickly do So if I vice captain Campbell, surely I don't vice captain Campbell though. If I vice captain Campbell and captain Lomax, what I can't. I will have no one to loop because it's Para North Queensland South. Para North Queensland South Cowboys. Para. Server error. Has anyone been having their super coach like drop lately? Like this? What's going on here? Wait, is it? That's not my internet, right? Oh, it's not my internet. Super coach, hello. Hello, I'm doing a live video here, super coach. Mr. Sangstar. Hello. Well, that's not very good. Mr. Tom Sangstar. I don't think it's possible for me to VC. Nah, I have to this week go with my gut, and I have to have Jaden Campbell in. I just have a feeling after last week and the form he's in, you have to have him as a VC or a C. Unfortunately, I think this week with how the schedule is, I'll go VC Cleary into Captain Campbell. And I think a lot of people are going to do that. But I also think there's going to be a fair few people that Captain Cleary, and if he only gets like a 70-80, because we have to remember Newcastle at home, their defense is quite good. If he only pulls away for a 70-80 and Campbell goes ballistic, that could be absolutely massive. Okay, we're back up. Oh my gosh, Mr. Sanksa. So I can't VC Campbell and Captain Lomax this week. It would be impossible because McCarthy, everyone would have played by the time this has happened. Hello, Major. How you doing? So I think... Also, question, is anyone here scared that for having Haas in their team, considering his injuries, etc.? Also, when is Tino due back? Round 25, sure. So my only trade this week is Herbie Farnworth to Zach Lomax, which is a very, very common trade. We'll look at the trades now. Before that, we're going to look at CT dubs because that was a great question that Pat had about some pods. I don't think Coates is a play, in my opinion, because there's going to be restings for Melbourne as well that we need to understand. Also, I did have some players up. So Brimson are being traded in a lot. They have Souths, Sharks, New Zealand. So sorry, Souths at home, Sharks away, New Zealand at home, Dolphins away, then West Tigers. The problem I find is it's Brimson. However, he's gone 117, 63, 71, 45, 95, 53, 84, 59. These are respectable scores. Now, would I do that over someone like a Galvin if he's listed as injury this week? Possibly. But with having 3 trades left, do you want to go to Brimson as a pod? I think for memory, he's owned by about 9% or 9.7%. So that's an interesting play, and he is being traded in. Again, I think Mulatalo could be absolutely massive to the back end of this season. 91 and a 98, obviously getting tries. Going into St. George, Gold Coast, then the bye that you likely could cover, into Newcastle and then Bulldogs. But just imagine this. The last game against the Bulldogs, they could actually rest players if their position on the ladder is solidified. If they can't make first, maybe they just automatically make first, or they're just guaranteed second or third. And they're like, no matter what, we're guaranteed this. That is absolutely huge, because then you're likely going to verse the Bulldogs without Burden, without like Kickow, without Preston. There's going to be a lot of restings without Reed. It's just going to be like, here it is. And Mulatalo could basically go off because Sharks are playing for a spot in the top 8 essentially. And it's a time where they need to start clicking and playing really good footy. So that could actually work out for you. It is an away game still, but hey, against the Bulldogs that could have limited players because of restings, that's actually not too bad. So when you're analyzing draws, just because people are versing teams in the back end of the season that are quite good, just say to yourself and just remember that these teams could actually rest the players. It's really important to understand that, because that could actually work out in your favor. Also, Adam Doueihi has been absolutely on fire. The unfortunate thing is they have a bye this week. That is really annoying, because they come into Manly at home, Cowboys at home, Canberra away, then Gold Coast away. And he is the kicker for Tigers. They played amazing footy. I think he deserves to be in that halfback role, or where he was playing on the weekend. But again, we can see he's actually capable of going plus 100. Now, against tougher teams, 45, 66, 32, it does get a bit rough. When they are striding and actually scoring points, Doueihi actually gets better ball and points from that, which is good to see. So he's going to be absolutely massive on this run home, especially with the way they played last week. So we'll have to wait and see. But unfortunately, the bye is there. Stephen Crichton, I personally wouldn't go anywhere near. They have New Zealand, Sydney Roosters, Melbourne away, Penrith. So I don't think we look at anyone from Bulldogs besides who you currently have, which is likely the Burdens, the Kiraz, the Kickow, the Prestons. Maybe you have Josh Curran, or I think that's nobody else would have anyone else besides that, unless I've missed someone. So yeah, I wouldn't dive deep into that. Now, if we filter this by CT dubs and we go under 10%, well, let's just see if there's anyone here that could be very, very, very good. Did Thomas Jenkins only get 48 last week? You know who's been great, and I honestly mean it? Casey McLean. Has a 70 break even. Got 81 last week. Who are they versing though? It's in season stats, right? So Penrith have the Knights, Storm, Raiders. So that's pretty tough. Newcastle Knights, Melbourne, Canberra Bulldogs, St. George. So that's pretty rough. That's a bit annoying because he's been doing absolutely amazing. I also still have Billy Smith in my team, which is lovely. people that went Jethro, I wonder if they played him last week against Tigers. Most probably did. That was pretty rough. Yeah, I wouldn't go Crichton. Talakai, I think too late now to go to. I think Mulatalo, yes, we can look at going Mulatalo. Bradman Best could also be a sneaky little pick. If you're desperate and you're like, who could I pick that nobody really has? I think if we filter this, hold on. Let's do this. Let's go top 1%. Let's go top 5%. I want to see what Bradman Best would be. He could be a nice little pog. Yeah, I know. I'm a Timoko, but I don't like that they have a buy coming up, and I think I don't personally like it. A lot of people are going there. I think it's a trap. Daniel Tupou also could be someone you look at. Very good try scorer, a massive aerial threat as well. That could be huge. When he's Holmes, he's just out for season, right? I wouldn't go Taylor May. I think Bradman Best 0.9% in top 5%. Very interesting. Very interesting. Luke Garner could also be good. Wouldn't go anyone else here. Wouldn't touch Zach Labart. Grant Anderson, Coates, no. Tane, no. Cooler actually has been performing really good for Manly. It just sucks how Manly performs sometimes. I think they're your shouts. Can I just say, please put someone else next to Brian To'o because this guy is driving me insane. Josh Addo-Carr. What is his lineup looking? So they've got North Queensland, South Roosters, New Zealand, Newcastle. Jesus. That's actually not a bad run. I think this guy's a possible pod. Is there anyone else from Eels that we would say would be a pod besides Josh Addo-Carr? Because that is dirt cheap. 473,000. What's his scoring looking like? Let's look at this. Oh, you don't have Campbell. Uh-oh. You think Mitch Moses? Yes, but I think with halves, everyone's got Hines and Cleary. They wouldn't want to trade there. So he's gone 63 and 69 against very good teams. 44 against Penrith. Guys, I think we found a legitimate, really good pod. They have North Queensland, Souths, Sydney Roosters, who can leak a lot of points, depends which Roosters team. Then they have New Zealand away and Newcastle at home. I honestly think I might trade in for Josh Addo-Carr. Am I absolutely insane? I have 290,000 in the bank. I have Kiraz, Lomax, Garrick, To'o, which obviously I'm going to play To'o. I have to. It's To'o. Then I have Marky Mark. I have Billy Smith. I could go McCarthy. I can go McCarthy to Addo-Carr. What do you guys think of this? Sione Katoa is more of a basey. Yeah, the thing is, I feel like they go left a lot. When I was watching the Sharks game, they love going left, especially in that game, just going to Mulatalo's edge. It's really annoying. I'm actually not mad at this Josh Addo-Carr shout out. I have 3 trades left. Can I do this? Oh, I have 180,000 left. And if any game is like torrential, but the problem is now, who is the reserve I take out? Most probably Tarpanay. Jeez, that hurts a bit though. Unless I take out AFB. What would AFB got without a try? It's how many points is it for a try? I can't believe I'm a content creator and I've just asked how many points. Is it 24 or 34? It's 24, right? I can't believe end of season NRL Supercoach. I'm coming 1300th in rank and I've just asked how much points is it for a try? That needs to be looked at. I think this is the safer play. Canberra into Manly, Tarpanay, Clark, Young, Katoa against Broncos, Nikora, Hosking bench, Hubner bench, 27. I think this is it. I literally think this is my squad with VC Cleary, captain. Oh. Or, you know what? VC Tedesco, Captain Campbell. Can I do that? I'm doing that. I'm telling you now, I'm going to anti-pod this Cleary play. I'm going VC Tedesco into Campbell captain. People are trading out Tedesco. They could go bonkers against Dolphins. We don't know what Dolphins team is going to turn up. I could be wrong, but I'm very happy to have Campbell as my captain and then run with it from there. This is it. I've locked in. 2 trades left. My only big issue would be if Harry Grant got injured or rested. So I need to pay attention for that. But I could just take a DNP, but I'm stacked everywhere else. Also, Canberra do have a bye coming up soon. So I need to be prepared for that. But they have a bye in 24. Is it next week? Oh, it's next week. So if Tino came back, that would be great. However, I thought this through. I can play Hubner next week, and he hasn't been a machine lately. So I would just swing Hubner in and say, Bob's your uncle. Or, oh no, no, I'm an idiot. I could go Tino down. Yeah. I can go Aaron Clark in for Thingo and then swing AFB or Terrell May in. So that's fine. I'm covered for that. Then I've got backup in my halves. I kind of have backup in my 5/8. I now have backup in my CT dubs. And I'm trusting in Tedesco. Now, I also could trade Tedesco next week. I don't want to trade him this week because I think he could go massive. The Roosters have quite a hard draw coming up. But still against Para, I want Tedesco. The last 2 weeks, he has Melbourne and then Bulldogs. So if he's looking okay and my trades are fine and I've still got only 2 trades left, then I'll go Teddy down and either have someone in the flex, whoever I want, because I still have that money in the bank, 180,000. And we're looking good. I will let you know on Sunday on the game day wrap up if I completely regret this, but I'm actually going to take a punt on this Addo Carr play. I'm really, really liking it. He's dirt cheap and his scores haven't been too bad. And I think they can actually put on a pile of points this week. We know who Moses is. Literally when he's on, he can carry games. He's like, in my opinion, Mitchell Moses is the closest thing to Nathan Cleary when it comes to a half being able to carry a game and being like, what was the difference that game? And you say that player. So I think this is going to be really interesting. And I don't think a lot of people are going to go this route. Maybe Campbell, people will switch on for Campbell. But if Latrell is back, I'll be surprised, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's what my team is looking like. Captains are done. Just quickly before we end, let's talk about the trades. So the biggest trades at the moment, Herbie Farnworth out. And as you can imagine, everyone's just going to be Herbie Farnworth out. But the biggest ins, we should say, and let's go by top 1%. Dane Gagai coming in. We've spoken about that. Jaden Campbell coming in. Very reasonable. I think he's a must-have. I think you need to get him in. Alexander Brimson, good. Obviously not as good as Campbell, but I think people are riding last week's game into them being on some form. Respectable. Lomax, 100%. You need to get him in. I'm getting him in this week. I wish I had him a bit earlier. I didn't. Aaron Clark, that's interesting. People must be desperate now because of the Yao injury. RTS, warranted. Great player. Tackle buster. Can score tries. I'm a bit scared of that. Bo Fermor, so this is another Isaiah Yeo replacement, it looks like. Especially, I think this is also a great pick here. We haven't spoken about this guy, Bo Fermor. CTW, 2RF, dual. Gold Coast have a nice-ish draw. They're playing better footy. You could go there. If you want the safe 60, that's who you get. Mulatalo, we spoke about. Haas, people are trading in Haas now for Colo. That's fair. And then Herbie Farm, people trading in Philip Sami. Well, that's going to change because, he is not playing. Is it worth using one of my last two trades to get Campbell in? Who are your 5/8 currently would be the question to that. If you said to me you had Chanel Harris-Tavita and Cameron Munster, I'd say no. I'd say hold your trades. This has been carnage and go from there. Pat, thank you so much for subscribing, man. Really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. How did you find this live, by the way? Were you just on YouTube looking up NRL Supercoach content and it just was up and it said live and you're like, you know what? I'm going to click this. But thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. Oh, also, I know you guys might hate me saying this, but do any of you by any chance play other fantasy sports? And if so, in particular, do you play AFL or Fantasy Premier League, which is coming into play soon? Random question. I know we're on NRL, but I really was curious to see if you guys play any other fantasy sports and what they were, and specifically if it was AFL or FPL. Because I'm getting into FPL, and I was wondering whether I should do any content around it. But that was something I was thinking of as well. Munster and Dewey, so can swing Dewey to CT dub, and Dewey's on the bye. You play English Premier League, Pat? Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. BBL Supercoach. I can't play. I don't do cricket, unfortunately. It's just not my sport. Geez, that's a tough question, Fishing. Let's just look quickly at Gold Coast. So they have Souths, Sharks away, New Zealand Dolphins. Okay, this will be my answer. This will be my answer to you. When you look at my team, then I show you my team, you obviously can see that besides hooker, I'm covered in every position, correct? So if Cleary or Hines goes down, I have one of them to just play out through the season. If Campbell goes down, I can play Galvin. He'll get me a 40, 50, 60, whatever it may be. For CT Dub, I got Marky Mark. For fullback, I'm covered. When you look at your team, do you see the same thing? Because if you say to me no, and if you're like, in FRF, I've only got Haas and AFB, then I've got two nuffs, then I'd likely say no. But if you're covered in every position and you think that you can survive on one trade, and if someone gets injured, you can just swap them out and bring someone on the bench in and survive, then I'll say yes. Then I would say yes to doing it. Because I think Campbell is going to go absolutely ballistic on this run home. And he's going to net you at least 300 points in these last games. At least. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you. Billy Smith would have to go. That's fine. Who are your other CT dubs? Oh, I guess because you're trading out Billy Smith. What's his break even? I think that's fine. 98. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine play. I think it's the right play. If I was top 1,000, I would do it. I'd be like, I need Campbell because everyone else is going to get him. I would say my second row is short, but I have a full front row. Do you have front rowers that have 2RF duality? But yeah, that's fine. Guys, if there's no other questions, I will have to go because I got to go help take care of my son. But yeah, I don't know, because it's going to be my first ever Fantasy Premier League season. But I know a lot of the Supercoach people play FPL or Supercoach Premier League for the EPL. And I wouldn't do Mark. I'd do Billy Smith. But that's just me. I'll leave you to decide on that one. But yeah, if there's no more question, guys, thank you so much. Again, we have done it. We're so close to the end, eh? Round 23. I don't think I have any way of even coming close to getting top 1,000. I'm hoping for an absolutely massive week this week, to be honest with you. If I could pocket a 1,400 plus this week, I'd be super happy. Because I feel like my team is in a really, really, really good spot. And prayers up, eh? Let's pray for Josh Adokar. Let's pray for a huge game for Tedesco that I could then VC loop like a 170, like something huge. And then let's hope everyone's trades are good. Everyone sees green arrows. No more injuries, please. I can't handle it anymore. Thank God I decided to save trades when I did, because it's getting rough. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. A bit of a longer one. Nico Hines is a good VC. Don't trust that guy. Had him VC 2 weeks ago. Will never touch him again. He is just honestly the most annoying super coach player to own sometimes. Guy versus South Sydney Rabbitohs, one of the most injury-riddled teams this week, that week, and they won 14-12. It was so embarrassing. I nearly wanted to uninstall Supercoach and delete my account. Anyway, you can go for him as a VC if you want. I'm going to Tedesco into Jaden Campbell. I'm going to pod Cleary. I know I'm crazy. I'm going to do it. That's what I do. Much love, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for subscribing. I'll catch you on the next one. You might see some Fantasy Premier League content. If you do, give it some support. Give it a view. If you don't play it, no worries.